Caitlin Clark's return to Carver Hawkeye Arena on Sunday was a moment that many had been eagerly anticipating. It was the first time she played in the iconic venue since stepping into the WNBA spotlight, and it set the stage for a perfect mix of fanfare, emotions, and branding buzz. The game itself was a spectacle, with Clark leading the Indiana Fever to a resounding 108-44 victory over Brazil. The 16-point performance was impressive, but what made it even more significant was the homecoming element. For the fans who had watched her grow into a basketball legend at Iowa, this was a special moment. Yet, despite the build-up and the palpable energy surrounding her return, there was one major brand that chose to remain silent. Nike, the sports giant, which had signed Clark to an 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal, opted not to acknowledge her performance or even mention her name on their social media. While Clark was putting on a show in front of a packed Carver Hawkeye crowd, Nike's social channels were focused on other athletes, particularly Aja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces, who were also preparing for their preseason games. The absence of any posts recognizing Clark, especially given the significance of the game, was a noticeable omission. For a brand that has invested heavily in Clark's future, this was a curious move. It stood in stark contrast to the actions of her other sponsors. Gatorade, for example, didn't miss a beat. They celebrated Clark's return with a post that not only acknowledged her homecoming, but also highlighted her impressive performance. This silence from Nike raised questions, and Clark's supporters were quick to notice. Among those who reacted was her boyfriend, Connor McCaffrey, a former basketball player and now an assistant coach at Butler University. McCaffrey chose a simple but powerful way to show his support for Clark, retweeting a post from a fan that sarcastically called out Nike, saying, Nike, y'all don't got internet or what?" McCaffrey didn't add any commentary or captions, letting the retweet speak for itself, and it didn't take long for fans to rally behind him. The retweet quickly gained traction on social media, with people applauding McCaffrey for his quiet yet impactful show of support. It was a statement that didn't need words to convey the frustration many felt with Nike's oversight. As fans poured in their reactions, McCaffrey's subtle move became a symbol of solidarity. One fan wrote, "PLZ don't unretweet. This is the best rexpletive I've ever seen OMG," reflecting just how much people appreciated his gesture. Other fans shared similar sentiments, some even joking about McCaffrey's retweet being legendary. It became clear that McCaffrey wasn't the only one who thought Nike had made a serious misstep. One person went so far as to criticize Nike's broader approach, stating, "Nike is literally screwing around. It's no wonder why their brand stock is in the toilet." The commentary was harsh, but spoke to a larger sense of disappointment, with many feeling that Nike had missed a golden opportunity to celebrate one of their top athletes. Despite the drama playing out off the court, Clark's on-court performance didn't go unnoticed by her fans or the Fever. In fact, she delivered an outstanding performance in her homecoming game. Her 16 points were a testament to her skill, and she was one of 4 Fever players to reach double digits, alongside Kelsey Mitchell, 17 points, Aaliyah Boston, 11 points, and Natasha Howard, 10 points. The Fever's commanding victory only added to the excitement around Clark's potential for the upcoming season. As the crowd in Carver Hawkeye Arena cheered her on, it was clear that Clark's return was much more than just a game. It was a moment that celebrated her legacy as an Iowa legend while looking forward to what she would bring to the Fever in the WNBA. For Nike, the decision to stay silent may have been a misstep, or perhaps part of a larger strategy that we don't fully understand. However, for fans and supporters of Clark, it was difficult to ignore the absence of recognition, especially at such a pivotal moment in her career. McCaffrey's retweet summed up the frustration felt by many. If Nike truly wants to harness the power of the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, they need to show up when it matters the most. Nike's silence was a missed opportunity to celebrate their star athlete at a time when the eyes of the basketball world were on her. While it remains unclear whether the brand will respond to the criticism, one thing is for certain: Caitlin Clark's performance and the support from her fans, family, and sponsors will continue to drive her legacy forward, with or without Nike's endorsement. Caitlin Clark's Iowa homecoming was more than just another preseason game. It was a symbolic return to a place where her basketball career had blossomed into something legendary. The sold-out crowd at Carver Hawkeye Arena wasn't just there to watch her play. They were there to celebrate her. They'd followed her journey from a promising college star to a WNBA rookie, and now they were witnessing the next chapter of her professional career unfold in front of their eyes. The atmosphere was electric, and the love for Clark in the arena was palpable, reminding everyone why she was such a beloved figure. While Clark's performance undoubtedly dominated the storyline, it was the behind-the-scenes drama with Nike that seemed to capture the most attention. The fact that the sportswear giant, which had so heavily invested in her brand, chose to ignore her moment of glory was perplexing to many. Was this a simple oversight, or was there something more behind the scenes? Some speculated that Nike's silence could have been due to strategic reasons, perhaps focusing their efforts elsewhere or trying to manage their marketing initiatives in a different direction. However, given the timing and significance of Clark's return, it was hard to ignore the feeling that they missed an important opportunity. Nike's decision to overlook such a pivotal moment for Clark left fans and commentators questioning the brand's commitment to the athletes they sponsor. In a world where sponsorships are more than just financial deals but integral parts of an athlete's image and legacy, leaving an athlete like Clark out of the conversation felt like a misstep. Nike, a company that has built its brand on the back of athlete-driven marketing, suddenly appeared disconnected from one of the most talked-about players in basketball. As social media exploded with reactions to the oversight, it was clear that Clark's supporters, many of whom had followed her career since her time at Iowa, were not going to let this slide. On the other hand, the response from other sponsors, like Gatorade, showed a stark contrast in how they approached Clark's return. Gatorade didn't hesitate to celebrate their athletes' success, proving once again how valuable it is for brands to show support when their athletes need it most. This difference in approach highlighted just how crucial brand alignment is for athletes, especially when they are at the center of such an emotional and significant moment. While Clark may have felt the sting of Nike's silence, the public support from her other sponsors and her fans reinforced the fact that her impact transcends any brand or endorsement deal. In the end, Caitlin Clark's return to Carver Hawkeye Arena was a reminder that her legacy goes far beyond the court. While Nike may have missed an opportunity to capitalize on this moment, Clark's performance and the support she received from her fans, family, and other sponsors prove that she is more than just an athlete. She is a cultural force. Whether Nike decides to rectify their oversight or not, one thing is clear: Caitlin Clark's star will continue to rise, and the world will be watching every step of the way. As for Clark, she has already proven that she doesn't need to rely on any single brand to define her success. Her talent, passion, and dedication to the game speak for themselves.